We have a series. So, welcome back. We have a series. The Montreal Canadiens today played a pretty darn good road game. Now, the shots will tell you that Vegas took over, but Montreal gets the result they needed. They get a split. They're going home. They're going to be playing in front of 3,500 fans for games 3 and 4. And that's 1,000 more than they had in attendance for their last series against Winnipeg. So, we'll see how things go in Montreal. The thing that Montreal did tonight was take the fans out of the game. They did for most of it, which really affects Vegas's momentum. So Stevenson out, Brown in. I don't think you can state enough how important it is to have Chandler Stevenson not in the lineup for Vegas, as every single line was changed going into this game, including Nick Raw being in his spot on the first line. I like Raw. Doesn't belong in our first line. So it was Merrill and Petrie in for Montreal as well. Kulak and Romanov, I should say, out. A little bit of a surprise that Gustafsson was still in. But with Petrie back, it made a big difference. Petrie playing early. Short shift for him early on, 39 seconds. Tuck then gets the first scoring chance, which doesn't surprise anybody. Alex Tuck will get multiple scoring chances every single game he plays. Holden fires one wide. Traffic by Vegas again. Both teams, same strategy. Get traffic in front of the goaltenders, try to go cross crease, try to get those passes. Those passes weren't there for Vegas as much in this game as they were in the last one. Fleury then robs Petrie as the Habs were pressing. Weber blocks out a Pietrangelo shot. Gustafsson throws a puck where, and that was in the Vegas end, where he just passed it where no Montreal jerseys were. So Kolasar gets it, goes the other way, and his shot deflects out. Armia then comes back the other way, and his first shot was stopped, but during that same series of plays, he gets the first goal of the game at 6 minutes and 12 seconds from Edmondson and Perry. Montreal coming into tonight, 8-1 in the playoffs when they score first, so very, very key for them, right? Good start, and it's rewarded the shots at this stage. Well, at 7 minutes into the game, it was 7-1 in favor of Montreal. So great start, right? And after that period, things get kind of hairy for them when you look at the shots. But again, I thought Montreal played a very good game. Habs were getting turnovers. Stone gets knocked down by Suzuki. McNabb had a shot that was saved. Stahl's line playing physical, getting some scoring chances. That's the fourth line for Montreal. You have to roll all four lines and have them all going. And they pretty much were for Montreal at that stage. Vegas ends up getting a power play. That leads to a shorthanded chance for Byron. Weber had a shot that was denied. That's still during the penalty kill. Power play couldn't get set up. They only end up with one shot. And I think that was the one by Pietrangelo with 2 seconds left on the power play. So there's that. Lehkonen then had a shot that was blocked. We get some end-to-end action. Kotkaniemi deflects one wide. Travis Green was in the house. I thought that was interesting that they showed Travis Green. Just imagine if he had been seen in that crowd without an extension from Vancouver. The media, the fans, just the gossip would have gone nuts. Why is Travis Green in Vegas? Why is he watching this game? Is he looking at maybe getting a job with one of the other organizations? Sadly, he signed the extension with Vancouver, so it's fun to see him in Vegas. And hey, why not go to Vegas during your off season? Good call by Travis Green. There was a Weber turnover to Carrier, but the Habs would end up clearing that out. And then Toffoli continues his point streak. He's up to 8 playoff games now with a point. Caulfield and Petrie with the assists at 16 minutes and 30 seconds. 5-hole goal, it's one of those ones that, I do think that Marc-Andre Fleury would love to have that one back. He seemed to have that reaction after it went in like he felt he should have saved it. Anderson then beats out an icing. The Habs press after that. And the Habs 7-0 in the playoffs when they've scored 2 or more goals. And they had won their last 20 playoff games when they scored 3 or more goals. That is the magic of Carey Price. The Habs get shots in the final 10 seconds, but it's still 2-0 going into the second period. And Montreal was very good in the first. But in the second, things start to turn a little bit. After, there's an early chance for Habs. Vegas had trailed in every single game against Colorado. So they're not in a position they're not used to. They're used to the comeback victories. And I've covered them all season. And comeback victories are part of Vegas's DNA. Roy was back on the third line to start that period, which is good. That's where he belongs. Vegas seeking some chemistry by switching up the lines again. Price with a mishandle behind the net. He had I think it was him with Merrill behind the net, and it was kind of a you want it, and nobody takes it. So Vegas ends up pressing out of that. Post for Pacioretty on a 2-on-1 off of a turnover. Stone then had a chance that was saved. Vegas really going for that stretch pass, the home run pass, right? Where they're trying to get the guy in alone. Usually Alex Tuck, sometimes just Marchessault, but that's what they were going for. And then it looked like Vegas might have scored. The crowd reacted like maybe it had gone in, but Martinez was denied. And it was a really nice save by Carey Price, who had maybe his best game of the playoffs tonight. He's had some very good games, though. Big hit then nope, not yet. Lehkonen had a chance that was saved. Both teams were doing the net crashing tonight. Lot of crashing the net, a lot of get traffic, because both Fleury and Price, if they can see it, they'll save it. So get as much traffic in front of them as possible, make them look around the traffic, and try to get it through, right? Vegas ends up getting a power play during the penalty kill by the Habs. Big hit for Toffoli, really aggressive Habs power play. Pacioretty whiffs on one late. They end up with one shot during that power play as well. That's the end of the power plays in the game. That's it. Montreal had none tonight. Shots were 6-1 for Vegas 9 minutes into the second period. Anderson crashed himself then into the side of the net. Bold strategy. Pietrangelo had a shot that deflected wide. Lehkonen had a shot that was saved. He had a pretty good game. Action starts to kind of settle down, which is what Montreal wants. You've got a 2-0 lead. You're on the road. Settle it down. Keep the crowd out of it. Have them thinking about maybe going and getting a beer because there's nothing going on the ice. Have that kind of thing going on. Martinez had a shot that was saved. Fans wanted a penalty shortly after that. They don't get it. There was an icing call that Vegas didn't like after that. So they weren't happy about that call. And I understood why, because Pacioretty was right there. And I thought, well, yeah, Pacioretty was going to touch the puck first. Petrie, they talked about how he had broken blood vessels in his eyes. And I'm going to say, too, and I heard this on Sportsnet, but I'll say this here. It doesn't hurt. I've known people that have had that before where you get the broken blood vessel. Not usually in both eyes. That looks, well, different. But I've seen where somebody gets a broken blood vessel in their eye. And it can look really terrible, but it doesn't hurt. And it's just one of those things that can happen. So it doesn't, I would be very surprised if Petrie has discomfort from that at all. And it can take a while to clear up. So if he's got bloodshot eyes for a while, that wouldn't necessarily surprise me either. Habs were clogging the game up to this stage, and then at 17:45, they add to their lead. Byron scores from Kotkaniemi and Edmondson at 17:45. It was a breakaway goal, neutral zone turnover, and then Vegas tries to answer, and they do. It's Pietrangelo from Pacioretty and Colasar at 18:46, and it's the faceoffs. So Montreal's been winning their lion's share of faceoffs. They've won about 60% of them tonight, right? But when Vegas wins a faceoff, they've got these set plays off the faceoff, and Montreal does not have an answer for it. This is why the defense for Vegas is getting the goals, because they just don't have an answer for this play. And it was Suzuki that lost that faceoff, and it was off of an icing call as well. So, yeah, lots of traffic on the goal, and then with 16.8 seconds left, we get some scrappy slamming going on where guys are slapping each other and knocking each other down, and like weebles, they just keep bouncing back up. Last seconds, there's a chance for Waugh. That was saved. But we go into the third period, and you feel like, okay, it's 3-1 Montreal, but it's Vegas. So Vegas can come back because it's Vegas. It's what they've done all year. So third period, they mentioned that Carlson's line was at no shots through the first 40 minutes. They had a good third period, though. Early clogging of the neutral zone by the Habs. Toffoli had a chance that was blocked. Vegas' fourth line pressed a little bit there as the play was going back and forth. Tuck had a fast break. Price makes the save there. Gustafsson, he crashed into the boards, and it looked awkward, and he left the game briefly, but he would come right back in. Tuck had a fast break. Nope, that was before. Anderson breaks up a Stone net pass. Marchessault had a shot that was blocked. I think Josh Anderson had a good game tonight. Doesn't get on the board with any points, but he was good defensively, and he generated some good opportunities. Puck's going to start going in for him at some point. Perry had a shot that was stopped after a turnover. So Vegas was turning the puck over at a rate that normally they're forcing turnovers at points in this game, and they're going to want to clean that up in Game 3. Gustafsson does come back in after that. The energy from the crowd was definitely muted. The Habs were keeping Vegas to the outside. So the shots were mostly from the outside. They weren't getting those chances to the inside until later in the period. Armia and Perry then both had chances that were stopped. Vegas pressed at the half, and they need two. And they know they need two. And they're a team that can get 2 goals in a half of a period. They've done it before. The Habs had a 3-on-2. That fizzled out. Tuck then had a rush chance that was saved by Price. Theodore had a shot as well. That was saved. So this is where Carey Price starts putting the team on his back. Suzuki had a Holden shot deflects wide. Short press by Vegas. Anderson had a fast break. That was defended and kept to the outside. Then Suzuki goes beast mode and couldn't bury it. And if that had gone in, that would have been a highlight reel goal. And no easy plays for Vegas. However, another face-off goal. So this is Montreal. This is the only thing in tonight's game that you can pick that Montreal did that they've got to clean up in the next game. That you can say, all right, you guys need to watch these goals. It's Pietrangelo with his second of the game. Again, a defenseman, right? From Marchessault and Carlson at 14:46. That makes it 3-2. It's a close game now. And again, it's that face-off goal. Those are killing Montreal. The Habs then tried to answer. Price then decided to hand one off to Marchessault. I don't recommend that. But he saved the shot by Marchessault after and then had a little bit of a smile about that because he got away with one. Habs iced it with 3:32 left. Every time they iced the puck, I thought, you guys aren't learning, are you? You've got to avoid those face-offs in your own zone because Vegas is killing you on these. So it looked like we might have another comeback. So there was a heavy press by Vegas in the final 3 minutes, to the surprise of nobody, I don't think. Carlson had a chance that was saved. They do pull the goaltender with 1 minute and 45 seconds left, which made sense because you're getting all the opportunities here, right? Vegas pressed after that. With 50.3 seconds left, they call a timeout. Peter DeBoer wasn't happy about the whistle. He wasn't happy about a lot of things that were going on in that last minute of the game. And if he can read lips, I'd like to apologize on behalf of the National Hockey League and human decency. With 20.2 seconds left, there's a face-off in the Habs zone. And it's noteworthy because these are the face-offs that were hurting them in this game. But Toffoli and Pacioretty then kind of had a little bit of a thing going when the horn went to end the game. And then they all kind of lined up and played a lame game of Red Rover because nobody actually tried to break the other team's line. But maybe they're planning it out for the next game. I don't know. Montreal holds on. They win this one 3-2. And I'm telling you, if Vegas had tied this, I think Vegas probably would have won in overtime. But they didn't tie it. So Montreal's tied this series. Now they're going home for Game 3. This is wide open. The shots, 12-4 Montreal in the first. And then they do some holding on. Vegas outshot them 10-4 in the second, 17-7 in the third. Final shots, 31-23 in favor of Vegas. Power plays, Montreal, none. Vegas was 0-2. Hits, 53-35 in favor of Montreal. Block shots, 26-18 in favor of Montreal. So a lot of block shots by Montreal and some frustration for Vegas. But the return of Jeff Petrie made a huge difference for Montreal's blue line. It really did. It was a big difference maker. We'll see if that continues into Game 3. And, of course, if Stevenson, who they were already saying when he was scratched for this game, they said from the sounds of it, he may not play Game 3 either. That is a huge loss for Vegas. Price saves 29 out of 31. Many of them were of the highlight reel variety in the second and third. Fleury saved 20 out of 23. And again, now we go to Game 3 in Montreal. You have to think that these will be the two goaltenders playing every game in this series, no matter what happens, unless one of them gets hurt. So, yeah, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. For anybody who said this series was going to be a sweep, now it's not. And so Montreal has at least got themselves another free trip to Vegas for Game 5. And we'll see what they do in Games 3 and 4 at home. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.